nice chat.
Ronaldo, Messi.
We won't answer that, of course.
I've already told Sriram that I wouldn't choose between Ronaldo and Messi. I'll keep them aside.
I'm not saying. I'm not saying anything regarding Ronaldo, Messi.
No, you're
You're
already
not saying
wearing
anything.
Messi's
My
t-shirt.
preference is
Your
quite.
shirt says
Yeah,
a lot of things.
Yeah,
but
your
my
shirt
preference is quite
speaks
clear.
louder than you.
Uh, Morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. Welcome to yet episode of Pod Zippers, the official YouTube channel of our Facebook group Podsus. And today's episode is a little different. We will be focused today uh, on a separate issue, which we talk a lot about in the group anyway. If you're in there, you will know it. And today's episode will be a women's special episode. And for our conversation today, I have Rini with me, and we will be joined by Bishrut in a little while. If he has so much input, he will in a little while. So, hi Ronjini, good to have you on the
Hi,
pod.
Sriram. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah. So, what should we start the first thing? Okay. So, can we start with why football and why not cricket in a country like India? Because
Yeah.
I suppose you are a football fan more than a fan. I don't know that for sure.
No, I actually don't watch cricket at all. Like,
Oh,
I rarely watch cricket.
pretty surprising. Surprising. I started with cricket, to be very honest.
Okay,
So
okay.
yeah, how football?
So the thing is, when I was in class 7, maybe, so I was just randomly watching a match. It was a match between Chelsea and Arsenal. So at that point of time, I knew nothing about football. I didn't even know the rules, the names of the players. So I just started watching it, and I kind of liked it.
Mhm.
And Arsenal won that match 2-0. I remember that. And since that day, I started following Arsenal. And Arsenal is the reason why I fell in love with football.
Okay.
So the journey started from there in 2000. I think it was the 10-11 season during the Wenger era. So I didn't play during that time. I used to just follow football, and gradually I started playing. When I entered college, I started playing regularly, and now I play
Mhm.
with in Arsenal Bengal. I think you've heard of that name. Arsenal Bengal is a
Yes,
as an officially recognized supporters club here in West
yes,
Bengal.
I've seen your photos.
Hmm.
Okay, so Arsenal. Yeah, I know you're Arsenal fan already. So Robin van Persie favorite at that time
I have some bitter memories about that. I mean, especially after
because
he
he
signed
moved the
for
next season.
United.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
and he mentioned that the little boy inside me screamed for United, and that was like a deal breaker. And after that, I
So
just started hating him.
okay, so yeah, a lot of us and I know there are mixed opinions about Robin van Persie because obviously he
Hmm.
moved to a title-winning team. That's understandable, but there's that kind of a thing. So
Yeah,
your
when he
opinion
was
is
in
you hate him.
Arsenal, some fans used to say that we don't need Batman, we have Robin.
Mhm. Yes, I remember one game from I don't know which season. There was this boy who had a called Captain Fantastic, and he after the game, Robin van Persie went up to him. Like that time, it felt like yes, Van Persie is necessarily Arsenal with but that's not
Yeah,
football because of Arsenal. Any other favorite clubs or just Arsenal?
your voice is breaking. Can you please repeat?
Okay, I think that's it okay now because I think it's an internet issue. Is it okay now?
Yeah, it's better. It's better.
Okay. So yeah, I think there's issues. I think there's issues there.
No, just give me a second. I think I'll change my location. Just hold on.
Yeah, no, I don't. I'm not very sure if the issues on your side or mine. It can be on mine.
Yeah,
I think it's better now, but
yeah,
yeah,
it's better now. Yeah.
okay. Okay, so yeah, since it's better, we'll continue. So
Hmm.
yeah, what I was asking was Arsenal the only club or any other favorites outside of England?
No, I not from England, but I am also an avid supporter of East Bengal.
Hmm.
Although
Okay,
they are in a very, very bad
that
position
part,
right now,
yeah,
but
really bad. Last
what
in the
can I
table,
say? Yeah, yeah, last.
and to see
It's
Mohan
terrible,
Bagan
terrible.
really up the table would be a different matter as well.
Not Mohun Bagan, it's ATK Mohun Bagan.
Yes, it,
Mohun
okay.
Bagan, there is no club called Mohun
So,
Bagan which exists now. Mohun Bagan has become history.
and what do you feel if people say to you about SC East Bengal? That's fine. Three
No, see,
Cement Club.
SC is is the sponsor, right?
Yes,
ATK
it is.
and Mohun Bagan merged, so that's a completely different thing.
I was asking that because people, I've seen in groups that it takes talks to a whole new level when you talk
Yeah,
about
I
this.
know. And when ATK wins, people say Mohun Bagan won, and
Hmm.
when they lose, they say
Correct.
ATK lost.
Yeah, that's an issue. So, okay, in Europe, Arsenal, and in India, East. Uh, okay, so okay, you started watching it on 2010-11 season,
Yeah.
and so it was very platform at that point of time. So, when did you join any football groups or using Facebook?
I joined it very later in my life. I think in my college. I didn't used to use Facebook and Instagram when I was in school. So after
Mm,
that, I joined Facebook. I got to know about different amateur clubs. So
okay,
that's how I got connected to Arsenal Bengal, and we created a women's football team. And it, in fact, in West Bengal, is the first any club supporters women's team. So we don't
okay.
have any club supporters group for women
Mm,
other than Arsenal Bengal.
yeah, and yeah, women's football, when we talk, okay, since you just touched upon, we'll talk about that as well. Uh, just before, so how your experience on Facebook been regarding a female football fan? Has been any
Um,
uh, like last season it was like there was a lot of ruckus and that Misa Rodriguez when she posted about Miss My Passion post, it wasn't taken very nicely by a lot
hmm,
of, but after that, the support that came in, oh, it was great.
yeah.
So, how's the journey been? Similar to that one, or?
See, the thing is, humans are a creature of habit, right? And now, from our childhood, we are learning that football is a man's game. We don't usually see women play football, so naturally we develop that idea that women are not made for football,
Yep.
right? So
Mm,
that is when a female footballer celebrates, and she has
mm,
to explicitly say that miss my passion, same passion, to
yep.
make people understand. Now I don't necessarily blame the people, because
Okay.
until and unless you have the exposure, how will you understand that this particular thing is existing? Even for me, I'm an Arsenal fan since 2010, but I
Yeah.
never knew Arsenal women's team also existed, because there was no exposure, there was no media exposure, there were no match screenings, nothing, no live streaming. I had no idea.
Mm,
After FA player introduced, FA player was introduced, and all the
yes.
FAWSL matches were streamed live, that's
Free.
when I came to know about Arsenal women's team, and I started following them.
Okay.
So I think exposure is a big player over here. Until and
Correct.
unless you have the exposure, how will you
Mm,
know that exists? And once you
yep.
have the exposure, once you start watching the games, that's when you'll develop the love and affection towards women's football as well.
Yep. I've been following since Barcelona lost the final against Leon, like 2018-19, until then even I didn't follow. So that's why I'm one of the few people who prefers Lika Martins over Alexia Putellas because that time Lika Martins was the
Yeah.
the most famous player. So like
And
when
even
people
after
win some
Barcelona
awards, yeah,
Femini, yeah, after Barca Femini won the Champions League, they had a number of fans,
yep,
right? Because people got to know about them. And
yep,
especially because during that time, Barca men's team was not doing so well.
really, yeah, in a bad spot. It's in a bad. It's fine now, a little better now, not.
Yeah, same goes for Arsenal actually.
Mm-hmm.
Arsenal women's team have been doing really well. while Arsenal men's team were not up to the mark.
Yes,
Not
correct.
now. They might be in the top four right now, but I'm talking about maybe a year ago.
Yeah.
So
So
that's when the Arsenal men's supporters shifted to Arsenal women's team. They started
yeah,
watching women's games more because the women's team were winning more matches, winning more trophies.
mm, this will be actually, in my opinion, this will be a really big factor in pulling people towards the women team actually. Because Leon doing well, credits to them. Leon were really dominating team, but uh,
Hmm.
but Leon is not known all over the world. To be very honest, they don't have Leon does not have many fans. But when a team like Barcelona, Arsenal, City, Chelsea, these teams doing well is really good. That's my opinion. So I hope you know that the quarterfinals of the for Women's Champions League will be played at the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
team stadium.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
Arsenal will be playing that in Emirates
Okay.
Stadium, and
Yeah, Arsenal will be playing against Wolfsburg. It's a really tough fixture, I must say.
really tough.
Because
How thoughts on that?
Wolfsburg is one of the best teams in Frauen Bundesliga.
Yep,
So it
they
is
are.
going to be a tough fixture. And they have been playing Champions League for quite a while, and they have been continuously reaching the semi-finals or the finals. So that
Yep.
is going to be difficult.
So, what do you expect from that game?
Let me say, I have my fingers crossed. I am not
Okay.
going to predict any score lines or anything.
Hmm.
I just hope we get through that, and let's see what happens.
Okay.
I
So,
think Jonas, Arsenal's new coach Jonas, has done a really good job in
yeah.
structuring the squad. So I hope they win it.
So, yeah, Arsenal is one of the teams with like two, three fan favorites. Leah Williamson is there. Kim
Hmm.
Little is there. Vivian Miedema is
Midema
currently
is
there.
there.
And who's your
Barcelona is
favorite?
actually eyeing for Midema. Barcelona might buy her in the
That
next transfer window.
that will be overkill. That's really my opinion. It's an overkill. That team is really that. If you add Miedema to that mix, I wonder what happens then.
But I don't
Okay.
think Barca needs her. They have
Yeah,
Putellas,
that's the
they
thing.
have Hermoso. I think it's gonna get overcrowded there.
Yeah, we have her also, and Barcelona also has a youngster called Bruna Villamala. She's injured right now,
Hmm.
but definitely if you're going to give minutes youth, and do you need an established player like that? Miedema. Well,
Yeah.
Miedema recently liked an Instagram post in which Arsenal are asking her to stay. So, uh, so she might stay. That's a different thing. So
See, the thing is, if Midema goes to Barcelona, she will get lost there. Here
yep.
in Arsenal, she's treated like a queen. So I
So
think she
you
should stay here.
see a repeat what Felipe Coutinho to Barcelona was.
Yeah.
Coutinho is doing pretty well in Arsenal. Did you catch the match yesterday night by any chance?
No, I did not.
Okay, fine, that's fine. So yeah, my
I,
question was actually Kim Little, Leah Williamson, or Vivian Miedema. You keep one of these three in us, and the other two have,
I'll keep Midema,
and
obviously.
not your captain Williamson. Is it?
No, I think Little
Okay,
is replaceable, but Midema isn't at this
okay,
point. Okay.
okay, okay. So what are the other women? Yeah, FCB many set the camp now, 85,000 seats in sold, and even the men team haven't sold
Yeah,
the biggest season. Thoughts on that?
yes. A strange thing, I found it out a year ago when I was browsing women's history, women's football history. In the First World War, when women's football actually was in its peak, because the men were fighting wars and the women's
Correct.
were working in the factories. They were the substitute of the men working in the factories. So while they were working in the factories, they used to form teams and they used to play. Now, when they used to play in the stadiums, there used to be 50 to 60,000 people watching them, which is a huge number. Talking about 19,
Yes.
1920, that period. So 50,000 people watching a women's game. Even now, we don't have that kind of audience.
Correct.
But then
It's
after the
mostly
FA,
6,000. Yeah.
Yeah,
Please
but
continue.
then
Yeah.
after the war was over, the FA banned women's football.
Mhm.
They prohibited them from playing. So in those 50 years, whatever success the women's football had, it came down.
Yep. Correct.
So women's football had to start from scratch.
Yep.
But it's good to
Uh,
see that the exposure is increasing. More and more people are watching.
yeah. And the English FA did as well, and all the others as well. Spain followed, Italy followed. A few
Yes,
lucky
yes.
ones.
Even
Norway was the lucky one.
recently,
Yeah.
recently the US national teams, they were fighting for equal pay for quite a long time, and
Yep.
now it actually got sanctioned. So they will be paid like what the men's team is getting paid. They will be paid the
Yep.
equal amount.
Equal pay exists in US now, definitely. Before Norway, we didn't have already done it beforehand, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Like in 2019, I think they've done it.
Yes, I
So,
think the
but
US
yeah,
women's team deserves it because they are far more better and popular than the men's team.
and the argument always is wages should proportional to revenue, and I agree to a bit.
Yes, of
Yes,
course.
wages
Even
should
I
be.
agree to that. Even I agree
Yeah,
to that because women's
but
team
the
do not
thing is
women's
that
food. Yeah,
US women's team generates more revenue than the US
yeah.
men's team.
That is why I said it's justified for them
Yep.
because usually women's football do not generate much revenue, which is why their wages are lower. But for
Yes.
USWNT, it is justified.
Yep. Correct. I hope in a few years Spain would be there. Spain and England both really
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
So we will have a UEFA Women's Euros later on in July 2022. Do you follow
Hmm.
national of the women's national team thing?
I somewhat follow it. I won't say I follow it very
Okay.
diligently. I somewhat follow it.
You support any? Will you be picking Netherlands or England?
See, I'll be neutral, okay?
Okay,
I'm not
great. Yeah.
because since I'm a Brazil supporter and this is Euros, so I'll be neutral.
Okay, you're a Brazil supporter. That's good to talk about the next one. So, why Brazil?
Brazil, because when I was young, most of the my family members used to support Brazil and they used
Hmm.
to watch Brazil's matches during World Cups. So naturally,
Okay,
I also, formed that affinity towards Brazil. So
okay.
that's why Brazil.
And was the first World Cup you followed 2010 or 2014?
2010, I guess, or 2014. See, during 2010, I didn't used to follow football much. I think I
Okay,
would say 2014.
okay.
And the first
So,
women's World Cup I followed was in 2019, which USA
yeah,
won.
that's the same for me as well. Yes. Okay. Favorite Brazilian, if you have.
Undoubtedly be Marta. She
Yeah,
is the GOAT.
definitely. How many Ballon d'Or? Six, I think. Six Ballon d'Or.
Yeah. No, 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 no. Ballon d'Or for women was introduced much later. The first
Okay.
Ballon d'Or was won by Ada Hegerberg. The second one was
Yeah,
won by Rapinoe. And the third one
she's
was recently, which Putellas won. But
yeah,
she
and
has been the FIFA best female player a lot of
yeah,
times.
that one. Yeah, that yeah,
Yeah,
that one.
FIFA
I
best female player. Yeah.
she's finished like, and Mata also. She has played a club career a lot in Sweden. That's why Sweden and Norway, these countries, are really good in women's
Yeah,
football
yeah.
as well. Okay,
Right, right.
and okay. So, did I ask you this? Who's your favorite women's football? I asked you Brazil. Overall, did I ask you who's your favorite was?
No, overall, see, I would say there are a number of, there's not just one player, there are a
Mhm.
number of players I like.
Okay.
Marta
Mhm.
is definitely one of them because the first time I watched a professional female play football was Marta's. I watched
Okay.
her video, and that's when I was like, wow, even women play like that. And
Mm.
there was this charity match where Marta was playing alongside Ronaldo, the Brazilian Ronaldo, and all such players.
Yeah.
That's when I actually
Okay.
started following female football. So Marta is there. I would say Tobin Heath,
Yeah.
USS Tobin Heath. I think
Mhm.
she's very underrated actually. I would
Yep.
say that. I think
Yeah.
due to the presence of Alex Morgan, her
And yep.
contributions to the team is underrated. Yeah,
And
and Midema, of course, she's there as
mhm.
well.
and favorite men's
And
bowler.
of course, how can I forget? It's Bala Devi, the Indian
Yeah, definitely. She's
football
playing at
star.
Rangers, I
I
think,
would
right
add
now.
her to, yeah, Rangers.
Yeah, I saw
She
one of her
missed
goals
the
last year.
Asian
Yeah,
Cup because of
because of the situation.
ACL
Yeah,
injury.
yeah. India also had to back out of COVID, I think, right?
Yeah, that was terrible,
Yeah,
terrible. I think the girls prepared so much. They
well,
had played the
they had a chance.
friendlies. Even Manisha Kalyan scored against Brazil. I think that was a historic
Yeah,
moment. For the first time, an Indian footballer scored against
in
Brazil
Brazil. Yeah,
senior team. Yeah, and to go out of that tournament just because of COVID is
yeah,
pathetic.
really
That
tough.
was Asian Cup was India's golden chance to enter the World Cup.
Yeah,
I really don't know why AIFF messed this up. How can, I mean, we were the host country. We didn't even have to travel to someplace else. How can the whole team, 19 players, were infected? That was really disappointing. But I hope we make up for that in the under 17 World Cup that's going to happen in October.
we had a decent chance into the knockout stages. Everybody felt that. The people who follow, they felt that.
Hmm.
It was a bit of a surprise. Australia being eliminated earlier, and South blowing a two. They blew a 2-0 lead, right, in the final. I don't remember
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. China won the Asian Cup.
China won the Asian Cup by
Hmm.
3-2. It was the margin.
Maybe,
Okay,
yeah.
and so what would be it? Yeah, who's your favorite footballer then?
Who's my
Anything?
favorite footballer? Can you answer that?
Did you get the question?
Yeah, you asked me who's my favorite footballer, right?
Yeah, in men's, not in women.
In men's
Mm,
category.
yeah,
Again, I wouldn't name Messi and Ronaldo because
yeah,
let's
super
just
fine.
agree that both of them are like a world apart, a class apart. So I'm not gonna
Mm-hmm.
name them.
Okay.
Apart from those two, I would say Thierry Henry,
Good name, Arsenal. Yeah.
an Arsenal legend, and let's say who else? I really like Fabregas. I mean,
Ah, Chelsea.
yeah, yeah. And if I move out of Arsenal a bit, I would say Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Okay.
He is a like controversial figure, but I think he's a great player.
And look,
Can't hear you.
again, have you, okay, can you now?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Have you read Anne's book?
No, I haven't. I haven't.
Okay. Okay. If you like that one, I suggest
Maybe
actually.
okay. Maybe I will. I will search it up.
Yeah, it should be, PDF should be available. I know piracy is not a great thing, but I only read PDFs. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, talked about quite a lot of things. So, if take a current scenario, so you're an Arsenal fan. Where do you see Arsenal this football team in like 2, 3? I think they're the best in England right now. Chelsea also is in the mix. How do you see
Hmm.
them in the next 2, 3 years? Will they be able to reach that build beater category that Ghana is in right
See,
now?
Arsenal's focus should be now on the Champions League because FAWSL there are only 4 to 5 teams which dominate the league, and the let's say the difference in quality between Arsenal and the other 3 to 4 teams are not that much, but I think they can overcome those differences and win the league also. But
Yeah,
winning the league is not our main concern here. Our main concern is winning the Champions League because
correct.
the teams like Barcelona, like Lyon, like Wolfsburg, they have a far better team than ours. Their quality of football is far better than ours. When Arsenal faced Barcelona in the group stage, we all saw how Barcelona dominated Arsenal and exploited their defense. So I think we should focus on strengthening our squad and focus on winning the Champions League. I don't think we will win it this season. I think the coming 2 to 3 years, maybe we can.
Okay. And if we switch Arsenal, sorry, We keep with Arsenal, we switch to men's football. Is Arteta the guy? Gustav, are you in that team?
Trust. See, I trust the process. I'm trusting the
Okay.
process.
Mhm.
I think he can keep Arsenal in the top four,
Okay.
but every time I get my hopes high, I'm
Something.
disappointed. So,
Yeah.
so
Um,
let's just say he's doing a pretty good job with the young players. I think
yep.
bringing in the Haaland products has been thumbs up. I think
Mhm.
Saka, Smith Rowe, all of them have been up to the mark, and you can really see the passion in them. They want to play for Arsenal. They
Correct.
want Arsenal to win. They're not here just for the sake of their wages.
Okay. Yeah.
So I hope we can make it to the top four this season. I
Mhm.
remember Wenger used to say that top four is a trophy. And we
Mhm.
used to make fun of that during that time. And now we realize, we Arsenal fans, that how important being in the top four is and how
Yeah.
difficult it is to be in the top four, especially in a league that is so competitive.
Mhm. Correct. Is my video lagging or something?
No, it's fine. It's fine now.
It's fine. Okay. It's lagging for me. Okay. And there was one important thing I wanted to ask you since you're an Arsenal fan. So we have Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang who left Arsenal, I don't think in a good note. And
Yeah.
in the past, we have had Mesut Ozil, who has left Arsenal in not a very good note. If we go a little more back, I'm not very sure who. Robin van Persie, a bit. I don't know how he left on the Arsenal. I think that was more of Van Persie. But okay,
Yeah.
do you think the management, there's some issue in the management because Ozil was a really loved figure, Oba was a really loved figure? What's happening there? Anything
Yeah, I
you
think
could share on that?
With Ozil we had the wages issue because his
Okay.
wages were very high and Arsenal couldn't
Mhm.
keep up with that. So I
Okay.
think Arteta did a good job by removing him
Mhm.
because that was the most, like, we all loved Ozil.
Yeah.
Even now I love Ozil, I follow him. But that was a
Mhm.
smart decision. Now coming to Aubameyang, he went on a free deal, which was, I think, completely unnecessary. At least he shouldn't have gone free. I mean, he was one of the key players. He helped us win the FA Cup.
Yep.
So I don't agree with Arteta on that issue. But
Mhm.
as far as I've heard, there were some commotions between the two due to the disciplinary issues in the training field. So
Okay.
none of us know what exactly had happened between Arteta and Aubameyang. Only they know what happened. But
Mhm.
I think we should move on and let's focus on the current scenario.
Yeah. Call it a truce, maybe. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, uh, so Ozil, if Oz was in this team, Ozil is it's a great player. It's a very athletic player, but he has a lot of limitations because just like Messi, Ozil is a defensive liability. If I put it that way, you won't get
Yeah,
there.
that's true. And Ozil is the kind of player who would flourish if he has players of his quality around him,
Yeah.
which Arsenal didn't have.
Mhm.
So that was another issue.
Yeah. Okay. And now there's no Ozil. There's a certain Norwegian called Mark Odegaard in the team. And
Odegaard.
yeah, lately, I think it's been well. What are your thoughts on Odegaard?
Yeah, he has shown a marked improvement this season. He has been part of some key wins this season. I think he's
Yeah.
doing pretty well. I I think I look forward to seeing him play every match.
And if you have to name five players who you would not remove from the starting lineup in any cost in the Arsenal team,
Hmm.
who would the five be? I have a little guess who the five might be, but who would the five be, on your opinion?
Okay. Um, Gabriel Magalhaes,
Okay.
Odegaard, Tierney,
Okay.
Saka,
Okay. One more.
and let's just go with Martinelli.
Martinelli.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think five was a little too small a number. Fine, but because you had to miss on Aaron Ramsdale, and you also had to miss out
Yeah, I
on
know.
Emil Smith Rowe, yeah. No, that's
Yeah.
not an issue. I wanted to ask by names, that's it. So even if we, okay, let's say you name the left back, name the center back, you name the center attacking midfielder, Saka and Martinelli, both wingers. Striker is missing, and you surely don't want to keep Lacazette in that team.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean,
Okay.
Lacazette has been a big game player for us. He has been scoring some important goals, but I definitely don't see him as a long-term plan.
Yeah.
We need to find a replacement, and I hope Arteta does that in the next transfer window. Yeah, I've heard many rumors. Recently, I saw a rumor where Haaland was in an Arsenal jersey. So we really don't know whom Arsenal will buy. Let's see. I mean, I don't think even Arteta knows whom he will buy.
That's fine. That's fine. Uh, Alexander Isak, have you heard that name?
Alexander?
Alexander Isak, Isak.
Isaac. Yeah, I've
Uh,
heard his name. I've heard some rumors about him as well.
okay.
But let's not believe in rumors because every time a player of high caliber was associated with Arsenal, Arsenal didn't end up buying him.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, I agree that Andy Maria, Lionel Messi, Zlatan Ibrahimovic names in that. So like it's a good list, but not something that is club to. Okay, so we have talked women's Euros, we have talked women's Champions League, we have talked Arsenal, men's and women. Let's touch upon one final thing, that is the FIFA Cup 2022. Uh, so you're a Brazil fan. What
Yeah.
hopes for Brazil in the World Cup?
What hopes? See, the last World Cup wasn't very good for Brazil.
Mm, okay.
And I think over the years, the quality of the squad has only decreased and decreased. If you judge by their performance, also you'll get to know that.
Mm,
But I'm keeping my hopes high because come on, it's the World Cup. Anything can happen.
yeah.
I mean, let's keep my fingers crossed. I hope Brazil at least gets to the semifinals this
Yeah.
time.
I will get to Vishruth first. Let me ask Vishruth a few things. I know a lot of
Sure.
but okay. So Vishruth, when did you start following football? First thing first that.
I started following football.
Yeah, simple football, not women's football. Okay,
So
not
it
simple football.
was,
Hmm.
I mean, football in general.
Football,
So I started watching.
soccer, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah. So where I am from, they call it soccer over here. But
Hmm.
okay, for the sake of the audience, I'll call it football. It's
Hmm.
okay. And I started watching football in 2009. It was the year Barcelona had won the Champions League, and naturally, the Champions League winning team is something that you start off with,
Hmm.
typically. And before that, I've always heard, the team called Manchester United and a guy called Cristiano Ronaldo,
Yeah.
and guys like Beckham. They have always been like really good, really good people to follow. So I just had like bluntly, I used to follow them on like social media. At that time, social media was Facebook, and I was like one of the first few people in Facebook. But at that time,
Yeah.
it wasn't that active. But we used to like follow these stars and the news and all on a day-to-day basis. But and I was like quite fed up with the amount of hype that Cristiano got before 2009. All my friends used to have his like profile pictures and stuff on Orkut. So
Orkut doesn't exist
um,
anymore.
exactly. So at that time, I saw a certain like not a certain short guy with long hair who used to literally show people why he's better instead of like word of mouth. I saw something from my like in front of my eyes why he's the better guy, and
Hmm.
that's how I started like fell in love with him and the club he follows. And
Hmm.
I got into this rabbit hole in which you get into like how what's the history of this club, what it stands
Yeah.
for, and the rivalries and the stories behind it, and that kind of like attracted me a lot. And that's
Hmm.
how I earlier it used to be like in India, people follow cricket a lot.
Hmm. Yes.
And as much as I got
Hmm.
to know about the depth of the club, how the history is, how rich the history is, I suddenly diverted away from cricket completely. By 2011, I was totally into football.
Hmm. So if I have to ask you, because I know you follow football, who would be the equivalent of that short guy with long hair in women's football? Who pulled you towards that one?
Well, women's football, I did not follow the greatest of all time in the first sight.
Yeah,
I
me.
started watching women football. I started watching women football because of Tony Duggan.
Okay.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Um, she was at that time she was playing for FC Barcelona, but yeah, I would say the equivalent to that long-haired midget would be Alexia Putellas.
Yeah. Mhm.
No, there's no other right answer for
Yeah,
this. She
right.
has like she has been established herself like throughout her career, the resilience that she has and the
Mhm.
kind of teamwork that she displays, how just like the midget.
Yeah.
She supports the team as well as she scores goals and she's consistent in a game for a long time. It has to be her.
And
Right.
I think you also told me once that you have been following Barcelona that season where we lost the Champions League final, and we lost to whom?
No,
We lost to you
we
before that.
lost again. No, I didn't follow Barcelona at that time.
Okay.
No, I don't remember doing that. But I guess did we lose to? Was it Cruyff's team that lost? Right?
Yeah.
It was
We
Cruyff's team that lost. It was overconfident.
yeah, possible. Okay. So yeah, that's true. Yeah, continuing with you.
Hmm.
To follow Barcelona, I know that. Is there any national you follow?
I'm
Women's
sorry.
national team? Any women's national team that you follow?
Uh, the U.S. women's national team. Right
Ah,
now, I'm a journal. So I've been a reporter for the State Press, which is a campus newspaper at Arizona State University. And other than Ukraine, the first story that I ever wrote was about the women's national team. So I've been following the women's national team ever since this issue about equal pay for equal work came up, and is a really is an issue which I believe is like close to my heart because I see the inequalities that happen in this world, and football is just a small subset. But it's just something that that's where there has started like a lot of revolutions in the world have started through football, and I believe the fight for gender pay gap will again start from here. And
You know,
the kind.
Vishruth, Sriram and I were talking about this earlier.
Mhm.
So, recently, USA women's team were allowed to have equal pay. They will be paid as much as the
Yes,
men's team will be paid. But I think that is justified because USWNT is far more popular or better than the men's team.
that is true.
But however, in other areas, other countries or other clubs, the pay is interconnected with the revenue. The more revenue it generates, the
Mhm.
more the pay will be. Football usually don't generate that much of revenue. So,
Yeah.
what's your take on that? How will you tackle the gender gap in those situations?
So this is a
Sorry, not the gender gap. Sorry, the pay gap,
the pay gap, of
wage
course.
gap. Yeah.
So I had thought about this a lot, and usually the notion in this world is like the world typically it tends to work on trickle down economics. That means if you generate more revenue, you get paid using that revenue, is what the general notion is. But I believe that's not actually true in most practical sense because, say for example, a club has certain amount of revenue earned. Say for example, FC Barcelona, a lot of revenues you may say is earned by the men's team, but the team goes out of its way and literally takes loan from private lenders in order to sign players,
Hmm.
and other such activities are done. Literally a lot of loans are taken on by the club. So I believe that this notion that revenue translates to wages is false. You should firstly decouple that, and in an ideal situation that we work towards, we believe that performance should be like in an ideal world. What we would want is the amount of energy that you put in, the amount of time that you put in, you get paid for that. If you see
Hmm.
any corporation, you see that
Yeah.
the amount of work that you have put in a week, that's how much you get paid for.
hmm, right.
And that is something that I believe the women's players should be entitled. Secondly, I believe a lot of people say there are not a lot of sponsors again, and FC Barcelona Femini winning the Champions League, winning domestic titles. This shows that like earlier it was won by Olympique Lyonnais. Like it's a very popular team at that time, but Olympique Lyonnais men's team isn't that popular.
Yeah.
FC Barcelona winning the UWCL brought it into limelight because it's a big club. Barcelona is a very big club, and I believe another thing that capitalism teaches us is investing on risk. I believe that if you like how a startup starts is based on angel investing. You pitch your idea to someone and someone invests on a risk. What I want is people to remove that hesitance that you want. I want people to invest more on the women's team and eliminate the factor that women's investing in the women's team is riskier. It is not. And the example is FC Barcelona Femini.
Yeah, right.
I'm really proud that our club really invested in our women's team and is showing a good dividend. And I believe every club, if they can learn from this model, even the women's team, even they earn you a lot of revenue.
Yeah, true, absolutely true. The same goes for Chelsea women's team actually. 6 to 7 years earlier, Chelsea women's team was nowhere. So Roman, the Chelsea's owner, who's no more the owner, Roman, he invested in the Chelsea women's team. Even some Chelsea men's player like Lampard and Terry invested in women's team. And now look at Chelsea women's team. They reached the Champions League final last season. They won the FAWSL last season. So I think what we should say is logical and should be implied.
And it's changing slightly. Like they've never had broadcast to WCS, but this season took it upon themselves.
Exactly.
They put it into YouTube. They are over 100K, I think 100K subscribers. That's really decent for us. For a start, that's really decent. We hope that it continues. England did a good job in that because all the women's teams are free on the FA Player. We talked about it earlier. But Spain again, Spain literally has the best team in the world, and they're not telecasting it internationally. Yes, they have telecast in Spain, but yeah, okay, yeah, right. Vishnu, who will you be supporting in the Euros? Any picking?
In the Euros.
Yeah, because US is not there.
Obviously, all my favorite players are in Spain. Yeah, from Alexia Putellas to Jenny Hermoso to Bruna Villamala, at all age groups, Spain has the best quality players.
Yeah, that's Spain. So what about Netherlands? What about Leke Martens and Vivian Miedema?
Leke Martens. As I said, they're individual players, and football is a team game again. And overall, as I said, like Spain has the best amount, like best players at every age group and at every position. So it's very difficult to support any team other than Spain in this matter. And secondly, as I'm like really attached to FCB Femini, and the bulk of the players are from Spain, so it makes a really easy decision for me to support Spain over here.
Yeah. There's a possibility that out of 11 on that would be Barcelona players for Spain. There's possibility.
So like Spain's glory days have always been by Real Madrid and Barcelona players, and that continues even in the women's team.
Yeah, there's this one Real Madrid player. I don't know if you followed Arnold Classic. There's this player called Eugenia Del Rio. I've never seen her before that, but wow, she was a great. On the left wing, I think she was a great.
I think we will have an El Clasico in the UWCL this time, right?
Yes.
Two-legged.
This is yes. And the one with the Barcelona leg is at Camp Nou, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, 85,000.
It'll be played at Camp Nou.
In the camp. 85,000.
But I think it's going to be an easy win for Barcelona. Because Real Madrid women's team is a relatively very new team.
Yep.
They do not have much experience.
That cannot be said because recently in the Supercopa de España semi-final, I guess, it was a really close match where Barcelona won in the extra time. I guess in extra time or I guess 90 plus injury time.
At 90 plus. It was
where Alexia Putellas, So it was Alexia Putellas' goal, which is like 0-1 scoreline doesn't usually translate. Like it's not a good scoreline for Barcelona Femini. They always tend to score more than 5 goals a game. So again, football is a very unpredictable game, and that's the fun part where you get to expect something different. So let's hope for the best. But
Yeah.
I believe anything can happen. It's an El Clasico.
And your favorite team in men's because the World coming as well.
I'm sorry.
National team.
No.
I
Hello.
think what he's saying is, who's your favorite men's international team?
Men's international team again. There's a bifold over here because I like the Argentinian national team in a competition where all the continents are participating, but in the Euros it goes to Spain. People again have the tendency. People have the tendency to have like multiple clubs they support in one national team. For me, it's the opposite. I support one club and two national teams.
Support Argentina for Messi, is that correct?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And
Start
Spain
off
because
with-
you like Spain. Spain because
But
you
you
like
just now said that
Yes.
football is not about one individual player; it's about the team.
Messi is the greatest of all time.
Messi.
But other than that, I've been
different,
following the
yeah.
journey, from the time where Carlos Tevez, Messi, and when Maradona was the coach. I've been following this club, like this team, and even though it has it may not be that successful compared to other teams, but you're emotionally attached to it because you're rooting for it to win, and that again pulls you in a wormhole where you like only follow that team. And so that's happened with me for Argentina, and the current squad is actually very promising. The players, Angel Di Maria, Leandro Paredes, all of them are really promising players.
I did
So
not tell you
think-
one thing, that Ronjini is a Brazil fan. Before you
I'm
came,
sorry?
we talked about Ronjini is a
Yeah.
Brazil
Sarojini-
fan.
I'm a
Brazil.
Brazil fan.
Yeah, he's a Brazil fan.
Good to meet you then.
Let's
Nice to
say
meet you too.
Argentina. Let's say Argentina and Brazil faces in the test. I'm not giving both of them anything above quarters. That's my hope for both of them. Let's say they meet in the quarters, we will have another one of these sports.
Yeah.
And let's hope that one remains as similar.
Let's hope that happens.
Okay, but yeah, one more thing just before we wind this up. What would your dream national game be? It's Brazil Argentina World Cup final. Is that safe to say that? Is it safe
Yeah,
to say that?
that would be
Absolutely.
fantastic. That would be
Yeah.
fantastic.
That would be fantastic for every football fan in
Yeah.
this world, I believe.
Even if you're not a Brazil or Argentina fan, even then you would love to have that fixture in the finals.
It would be like the El Clasico in the club level.
Yeah. Right.
And do you see any chance whatsoever of that happening this year in 2022? Any chance at all?
See, we
It's
can't
very
say anything.
unpredictable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go on.
We can't say that right now.
Okay. Okay. Let's just try a different route. Oh, we should touch upon this too. Who do you think will miss out? Is it Italy or is it Portugal? Who will miss out? Because one of them will. First,
Maybe Portugal. I think Italy
I
is
think it should be Portugal.
yeah, Italy is a much stronger side. I think they will
Portugal-
manage to qualify.
So you're pretty
Portugal
confident
has
that
good players like in the midfield and attack, but I'm sorry, in the defense and in the attack and the midfield is not that great. Whereas Italy is an all-round team, so I believe Italy will go through.
okay. And one thing that would be crazy there is Ruben Diaz is injured. He will miss out that game. Supposed to happen. That Italy Portugal game. So
I'm a
let
big
us
fan of
skin
Joao
out.
Cancelo.
Yes, definitely.
He's an amazing fullback.
Yeah. Yeah, Ronjini, I would ask you this one too. The current Premier League it's turning out to be quite a race right now.
Yeah,
Who do you back between City and Food? Like, who do you like between? Not back. Who do you like between them?
See, I like neither of the teams. Okay.
Oh, okay.
But if you ask me to choose whom would I prefer, I think I would prefer City to win it over Pool.
Okay. Over Liverpool. Yeah, okay. Just do a quick rapid fire, maybe. I will ask both of you a question. You just either answer one of them. Okay. So
Raise hand on Zoom or like this.
don't raise hand. I will ask you both differently. I will ask you both differently. Okay. So
Alright.
first one to Ronjini. Let's. Okay. Cancelo or Alexander Arnold? Ranjini first.
Who? Arnold and who was? What was the first name?
Arnold and Cancelo. Joe Cancelo.
I'll go with Arnold.
And Vishruth.
As much as I hate it, it will be Arnold.
You, you hate it, but it's still Trent.
Yeah.
Why do you hate
I
that
think
part?
corner taken quickly.
Okay, okay, fine. Next one is Mo Salah or Karim Benzema.
Mo Salah,
I'd
hands
go
down.
with Benzema
Okay, that's a split answer.
because
Vishruth.
he has been really holding up Real Madrid after the departure of Ronaldo. I think he is a very underrated player. He's underdog. He's far better than people think he is.
Yeah, I don't have
Well, I
much.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah, as much as I'd agree with, yeah, he's a good, like, he has a good run of form after Ronaldo has left. But I feel the kind of numbers that Mo Salah is putting in, like, he's almost the golden boot contender every time. So I thought it'll be Mo Salah has a better form than Benzema.
Yeah, and I think this one can be interesting. Thomas Muller or Mesut Ozil.
I'll go with
Thomas Müller
Ozil.
or
Easy
Mesut Ozil.
choice because of the
Ozil or
Arsenal
Muller.
connection.
And Vishruth.
Thomas Muller, I would say Thomas
But
Muller.
Muller is more of a like goal poacher, and Ozil is more like the assist
Exactly.
king. So
They're
it's
different
not actually justified to compare
apples
them.
and oranges.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not. It wasn't my intention to compare them as playmakers. It's just that two maverick Germans. And people have and known to be people who are loved by most of the people, not money here.
Yeah.
Let's go to somebody who has haters, and a lot of them. Luis Suarez or Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
And
Luis
Suarez or
Suarez.
Zlatan. This is tough because I love both of them. I'd go with Suarez as well.
Even I like both of them. I love Luis Suarez. While I like Zlatan, I love Luis Suarez.
Yeah, a nice
Ronaldo, Messi.
chat. We won't answer that.
I've already told Sriram that I wouldn't choose between Ronaldo and Messi. I'll keep them aside.
I'm not saying. I'm not saying anything regarding Ronaldo. Messi.
No, you're
You're
already
not saying
wearing
anything.
Messi's
My
t-shirt.
preference
Your,
is
your,
quite.
your shirt says a lot of things.
Yeah, your
My
shirt
preference is quite
speaks
clear.
louder than you.
This will be a talking point in the group. So if people at all see what I'm at all think on what I'm wearing, yeah, but yeah, my preference is quite on that matter. Ronaldo. Um, last
I
one we
like
wind up.
both of them. I mean, just because you like Messi doesn't mean you have to hate Ronaldo, and just because you love Ronaldo doesn't mean you have to hate Messi.
Yeah, because that
Hate
happens.
doesn't like a lot. I don't know about yeah, as much as we love Messi, there are certain things about Ronaldo which are like repulsive to us, like his personality and the way he
Yeah,
behaves, keeps himself, and the kind of statements he makes, and then he doesn't follow them up. And I mean, I don't know, if you're at a certain level, you should refrain from certain behavior that Ronaldo fails to do, and that is why our preferences are a bit clearer.
Yeah, no, you heard this or not? Ronaldo reportedly not even in the squad for the game versus Man City. Not even in the squad. Not even traveling. Possibly. Because he's not seen in the team hotel. That's an mentality matter. So, just one last one before we wind up. This is about just two people who are great here. Carlos Puyol or Iker Kiss.
but they Cassius is a goalkeeper, and Puyol, how will I mean, both
Leadership.
are great
Leadership.
players.
Yeah, who's
Leadership, I would say
Leadership.
Puyol. Leadership, obviously Puyol.
okay.
Carlos Puyol takes a slight edge, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Carlos
What's the gap?
Puyol, he has mastered. I know, like Iker Casillas has like under his leadership, a lot more silverware, but Carlos Puyol, I've seen him at the way he marshals his field, and I believe at least in football, a captain who is more mobile than a goalkeeper has a certain advantage that he can at least like actually circle the whole field, and like marshals players around. That is something which a goalkeeper does not have the liberty of. So that's where Carlos Puyol takes the edge.
Yeah. So yeah, yeah, great discussion. I think that would be fine. How are we? We're about 50 minutes. Yeah, that would do. 50 minutes in. That's a great chat. We should join a little late. I think it could have been
I'm
more
really
fun if we
sorry for that.
had. Yeah, that's
I'm
no.
really sorry for that.
It's not an issue, you Dean. That's not an issue. It's just that it could have been more fun if you came in little earlier. But that's perfectly fine. So, yeah, the final message to our viewers. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope we cover more spaces about women's football and Euros, World Cup, whatever we cover. It's been quite a while since we did a podcast, quite a delay. Hope we will get this uh, more frequently. Let's do this one more frequently, and good to have you on the pod, Ranjini. Thanks for taking your time out on a Sunday morning.
I enjoyed it thoroughly. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, on a Sunday morning, that one. I am a lazy man, to be very honest, and mornings is not when I would like to just wake up. But yeah, good experience, really nice discussion, and let's hope and do another of these very soon, possibly near to the Euros or near the world, near the Championship final. So, thank you both of you for joining. And if you haven't liked, subscribe the channel, please do that. You can find group in Facebook. Please join that one. Yeah, thank you. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.